Can cats be just as heroic as dogs when the need calls for it? Well, this one story proves that they can be. Want to find out what happened? Just keep watching the video. Lots of people believe that cats are heartless animals who don't really care for their human owners. There is even a saying which claims that the only reason cats tolerate people is because of the food they get, but this one cat proved all of those rumors untrue. When we hear stories of animals saving a human's life, we probably think of the animal being a dog of some sort who has set out to save their owner after an accident has happened. But this time, the unlikely hero was a cat who came to the rescue, and nobody could have expected what would happen afterwards. This story happened back in 2017. However, the cat story began even before that. Bandit was a tabby cat who didn't have the best start in life. The feline had become a stray. Whether through abandonment or simply just being born on the streets, no one knows. But he had somehow managed to end up in a shelter for rescues. Luckily, the shelter was a no-kill center, meaning that the feline had plenty of time to find a new owner who would love him with all of their heart. And it wasn't long until his forever human found him. Fran Swayze, a retired woman who was looking to adopt a kitty as she wanted a new friend to spend her time with. When she came across Bandit, she instantly fell in love. "You're mine," she had said when she first saw the young cat. Not long after, the two were heading back to Fran's home in Buena Vista Senior Community in Texas, USA. It was here that Bandit would show his heroic nature. As the cat settled into his new forever home, his charming and quirky personality soon started to shine through. He loved to explore the house and find new comfy spots that he could nestle down and sleep in. He also loved spending his time with Fran, who was more than happy to accommodate her new furry feline friend. Like true to most cats, this feline pretty much had the run of the home. One of Bandit's more unusual habits was that he liked to go for walks around the buildings. What was even more unusual, though, was that he didn't mind Fran tagging along. "He does let me go for a walk with him," said Fran in an interview. The two would often go on a daily walk together, meandering around the building and saying hello to any of their neighbors that they passed by. Little did either of them know, though, that one of these neighbors would soon need a helping hand, or paw. It started off as a normal day. Fran and Bandit were enjoying the company of Fran's daughter, who had come to visit her mother for a week to catch up with her and spend some much-needed quality time together. Their day had gone on like any normal day. They had watched TV, talked, and even gone on a walk with the feline, like Fran usually did every day. It wasn't until the evening that things took a turn for the worse. Fran and her daughter had just settled down for the night when all of a sudden, Bandit started to go on another walk. He turned around and looked at me and said, "Meow," and waited for me to go to the door, said Fran. This was what the cat usually did when he wanted to leave the house. So Fran knew what he was asking of her, but she didn't know why. Usually, the feline was content with just going on one walk and then sleeping for the rest of the day. Even though they had gotten their fresh air for that day, Fran simply couldn't say no to her beloved kitty and decided to go on another walk with him. And it's a good thing that she did. Otherwise, things could have ended up much worse. Once the elderly woman had opened the door, Bandit sprinted out of the house, but something unusual happened. Instead of sticking close to Fran and walking at a leisurely pace, like he normally did, Bandit broke out into a sprint and rushed off along the corridor. Worried that the cat had run off, Fran and her daughter quickly hurried after him. But when they found the feline, they couldn't believe what he was doing. Bandit was sitting in the little courtyard area right next to an elderly woman who was on the ground. The elderly woman, named Mary Baker, had been walking her little sausage dog called Sugar when she suddenly took a turn for the worse. It turned out that Mary was diabetic and her blood sugar had gotten dangerously low. Because of this, she had collapsed on the ground and couldn't get up. "When they got to me," said Mary, "I was just barely talking. 'Help me, help me.'" Because of her weakened state, there was no way of telling how long Mary had been on the ground for. When asked, even the lady herself couldn't recall due to the stress and panic that she was in. "It's a miracle," said Mary, referring to the fact that Bandit had found her and led help to her. When Fran and her daughter realized the situation, they quickly jumped into action. They called the emergency services for an ambulance and then made their way down to where Mary was. The mother and daughter duo sat with the collapsed woman until the paramedics arrived, giving her comfort and reassurance that everything was going to be all right. Once safely in the hands of paramedics, Mary was rushed to the hospital where her condition was stabilized, and she was brought back to full health again. When she was given the all-clear, the elderly woman was able to return home. After getting back to her house in the community center, Mary set out to thank Fran and Bandit for saving her life. She told the cat's owner that God works in mysterious ways, and this time he worked through a cat. Mary couldn't have been more grateful for the feline who saved her life. Since then, the two neighbors who had rarely interacted before the event have become best friends. "She calls me sister," said Fran, who was overjoyed that she and Mary had grown such a close bond, thanks to the heroic feline, Bandit. Mary was also overcome with emotion when talking about her newfound friendship. "I'm blessed," she said, "that I have good friends here. This is my extended family." After the ordeal and Bandit's involvement in saving Mary's life, news got around to the rest of the residents who were living in the building at that time. "We may have to call him Sir Bandit," said Fran. However, she wasn't too fond of this idea, because she didn't want to give her cat a bigger head than he already had. Despite this, there is no doubt that the quirky little feline soon garnered a reputation for being a hero, and whenever anyone saw him on his daily walks, they would make it a point to give him a pet and a treat, something that he definitely deserved. However, despite all of the new attention that the cat received, to Fran he was still the same adorable little kitty who she had found at the shelter. The same one who loved to sleep in warm and comfy spots and go on his daily walks. Only now, she is certain to follow after him should he ever take off running again. As well as that, thanks to Bandit, Fran now has a new lifelong friend who she can enjoy spending her days talking with. This cat truly was a miracle, in more ways than one. Thanks to him, not only was a life saved, but a friendship found as well. And whoever says cats don't have feelings, well, this story just proves that they are wrong. Let me know what you thought of this story in the comments below. And if you want even more inspiring tales, just like and subscribe for daily content. If you can't wait until then, simply head on over to my channel where you'll find even more incredible tales. I'll see you next time.